Hi, I'm Chris, and I'm Mario.
This is bad. Let's start this over. Come on. This is like the highest grossing animated opening weekend of all time.
Okay.
Yeah. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of I Don't Podcast. I'm
Jesus
Adam,
Christmas.
and I am a low rank Goomba in the army.
I was just gonna say it's a me, Chris. I was gonna switch it to that.
It's a me,
Mario.
Luigi. And we don't podcast, but what we did do this week... What do we do this week, Chris? I'm not going to keep up this bit. This is, obnoxious even for me. This is grating.
Yeah. I moved my mic. Could you check it real quick? Hello?
Yeah, it's fine.
I just didn't hear it.
No, I can tell by the waveform. It's fine.
Is this okay? Did I mess anything up?
Uh-oh. No, it's perfectly fine.
Okay. We're gonna cut things out. This might be
no, we're not. This is a live stream.
This is actually a live stream.
Yeah, put some emotes in the chat if you think this is a live stream.
Yeah, I'll do that. It's Chris and Adam. We don't podcast.
We don't.
But what we did do today is watch the highest grossing anime movie of all time?
Or the highest grossing opening weekend internationally of all time.
Oh, okay.
For an animated film.
Okay. We watched Super Mario Brother. What's the actual title?
I think the actual title is The Super Mario Bros. Movie.
Okay. The Super Mario Bros.
I think.
I'm not going to look it up. Future me, don't look this up.
Yeah, it's not worth it.
Yeah. But before we get into it, we have tea.
Yes, we actually have tea this week.
You say that almost every time we have tea. We're like, oh, surprise.
Oh my god, we made a podcast where the whole point is we drink tea, and we actually have tea?
I don't know about the whole point. I mean, we talk about things.
It's oolong.
Yeah. We actually... Be careful, it's hot. We actually pre-did all the stuff, which I'm impressed with.
Yeah, we're professionals.
You know,
as you can tell by the 10 minutes since we've started before actually talking about the movie.
It's fine. I put timestamps everywhere. You can skip. While we're here, like and subscribe.
You hear that, audience? It's your fault that you're watching this.
No, like and subscribe. Ignore him. The other day, I went out with my fam for Easter, and there was this iron that they brought my food on, and I
wait, like a skillet. Oh, a skillet.
Sorry,
okay.
not iron.
Yeah.
And so I tried to move it a little bit, and I fucking burned my thumb, and I was like, that hurt a lot. I was like, because I just wanted to move it slightly, because it was like this direction. I wanted to just tilt it a little bit because I didn't want to hit my hand on it, and I just hurt myself more. And I was like, damn, now I'm scarred for life. Anyway, that reminded me because of hot tea.
Oh, okay. You know, we could have had a plan for this. You could have run this by me, and we could have said, "Oh, okay, I'll tell my story about the burning myself on the skillet," and we can segue that into the fire flower or something with the Mario movie.
Bro, what you say all the time? I just wanted to I don't want to think about just off the cuff, and we can just talk. And
don't put words in my mouth. You know we have a script. You know we spend 2 hours before every shooting doing a script for this.
Yeah, that's why whenever I look at you, I'm just looking at the script going up.
Yeah, it's the teleprompter.
Yeah. Anyway, Fire Flowers, Mario. What you think of the new Super Mario Bros. Movie?
Oh, it fucking sucked. I was kind of expecting it to suck because it's an Illumination film, and the best work they've done is Despicable Me, and I'm not that big a fan of Despicable Me. But this one I felt was especially bankrupt.
Okay. I don't know if I fully agree because I enjoyed my time, but it wouldn't be something where, I described it when I came out of the movie. I'm like, the movie I thought was fun because I was with my family.
Oh, so you watched it with people?
I watched it with people.
Ah, okay.
So that probably does change the experience a bit. But I don't think this would be a movie where I would watch it on my own or again per se. Okay, well, go. You can go into your spoiler-free thoughts. So
spoiler-free thoughts.
Why was this bankrupt? Morally.
Okay. Morally bankrupt,
Morally
yes.
bankrupt.
Well,
I keep tipping.
forgive me for getting super heady and abstract with my criticisms here.
Yeah, be careful because this movie is the big opening.
This is the greatest movie of all time.
Yeah, so if you don't want to ruffle too many feathers, we need an audience.
Yeah. So this might also just be attributed to my standards being too high and just me being used to seeing all of the classic quality cinema since starting the podcast and stuff.
Sure.
You know, like the most recent film I watched before this was Goodfellas.
Oh, really?
And I wasn't super big on Goodfellas.
Oh, people like Goodfellas.
People really like Goodfellas. It's the greatest movie of all time.
Sure.
This was not as good as Goodfellas.
I would presume it probably wouldn't be.
Yes. So imagine you're in an office. You're in the writer's room for Super Mario Brothers.
I'm imagining.
You have been rather a fan of the games for your whole life.
Sure.
And you know all of like the nuances to the games, why they work, why they don't. You know all of like however much lore is in the Mario games. It's not that much, but you know, it would be enough to make a movie out of.
Sure.
You know the names of all of the Koopalings by heart. You understand the fan theories, and
I've watched Matt Pat tons of times.
Yeah, you've gone through all of the secret levels and all of the main series games. And so you're thinking, you know what? I actually draft one of the script. We've actually got something pretty good going on here, guys. We got like all of this like fancy world building where you're going into like space and shit. And all of
Mario Galaxy, we got this.
Yeah, Mario Galaxy, yeah. And you have all of these different worlds, just like World 1, then 1-2, then 1-3, and they're all aesthetically separate and different and unique. We have all of these different creatures. How do we figure out how that fits into an actual like world? How does the economy of the Mushroom Kingdom function? That as long as we don't like linger on that for too long, then it would actually be a pretty interesting little like world building thing. You know, that'd be pretty interesting. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then 8 months later, you're on draft number 11 with the 58th email from the middle manager above you.
Okay.
Saying, yeah, so the suits above me are saying that we gotta make this more oriented towards the kids. We can't do this. You just make it. Don't worry about it.
Just make a movie.
Yeah, just make the movie. What's the problem? Why you gotta do all this fancy shit? Come on, this is Illumination.
Yeah, this is Illumination.
Come on,
you forget what company you're in.
I'm okay.
You're presuming that all went down exactly like that, right?
Yeah, exactly like that. Okay. I mean, okay, I don't want to be bashing Illumination too much because they have done stuff that I like.
Okay.
But the style, like the aesthetic style of this film, just made me feel like I watched 50 different trailers for the same movie without actually watching the movie.
Okay.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they're like snippets of, I guess, a potential, but like that's about it.
Not even that. Like every line of dialogue and the way that it's delivered with
it's cut for just like this trailer moment rather than like
the reason why this content is in this film is to make the trailer good, and if the trailer's good, then it will get butts in seats and people to buy tickets, and that's like the primary MO, right?
Yeah.
And it feels like every single scene in this movie was made entirely with the intention to be put in the trailer and nothing else. Because like the overarching plot is not that interesting.
No, not really. I mean, it's very bare bones. Like,
yeah. The world building is minimal. I thought the art team did a really good job.
Yeah, I agree.
That's probably my biggest compliment for the film. The music was disappointing in its own way, but we can get into that later. That's, you know, a good film can survive about a bad soundtrack, but a good soundtrack cannot survive a bad film.
Yeah.
So we'll get into that later. Let's see, what else? The dialogue
wasn't real. Like, and I feel like the dialogue was very. It's supposed to move the story along each moment, and it never felt like these are actual people talking.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Yeah.
There was one moment that I did like, that DK said, but other than that, like the dialogue was not great. I guess. I don't. Yeah, I feel like the idea that this movie was or is supposed to just bring people in to it's a cash grab. Like, it is.
Of course it is.
But I don't think cash grabs are inherently like a bad thing.
Yeah, no, the entire MCU is a cash grab.
Yeah,
but it's not that bad.
Yeah,
it's got some good stuff.
Yeah, like the really good stuff I really like.
Yeah, it's a really fun time on like the opening night midnight showing.
Mm-hmm. And I don't think the same goes for this movie, obviously. And I just think that the way that I think the idea that they put a lot of heart into like the background stuff and just showing little snippets of different like deeper lore. I think that's cool because it shows that people that actually give a shit about it, right?
Yeah, like in Mario's bedroom, for example, there's a bunch of like posters and stuff referencing old NES titles, and even before that, some stuff. So, as a true gamer myself, I noticed all of those gamer
moments,
hashtag gamer moments.
Yeah,
I don't know,
but
I would have really liked those references if they were in a better film. But here I'm just sort of expecting it.
Yeah,
like, oh look, there it is.
Yeah, it's very much a movie for you to point out and be, oh, it's the thing that reminds me of this childhood thing. Let me put money into this. Like that's kind of where my thought of it is going.
There's a very select. There's a few select groups of people that are really going to like this film, right? Mm-hmm. One is the executives who are making all the money.
Yes,
over $300 million opening weekend internationally. Like, come on,
that's a lot of money.
Two, the YouTube channels with the AI text to speech stuff that just make a big old list of all of the background
all
Easter
the references,
eggs.
Easter eggs. Like,
yeah,
look at this thing. That's cool. It's like
yeah.
And people that enjoy that too, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen a couple of those. I'm not for this film, but like, that's the type of video where I'll just like, oh yeah, okay, I guess I'll watch this while my water's boiling, and then I just put it on 2x speed and skip through it.
Sure,
but like the other slightly less successful YouTube channels that are going to be just bashing this film as like film critics like us, we really like this film because of that, right, Chris?
Yep. And
okay, let's see. There's people who make the money, the people who make the money.
Hardcore fans.
No, the hardcore fans are not. Well, okay, I'm not going to act like anyone actually cares about the story in the Mario games. Like, it's nice when it's there, but that's not the primary point of the Mario games.
Yeah, I think that.
And since you do not play the Mario movie, I don't think the hardcore fans of Mario are really going to like it all that much.
I agree. I think that's one of the things that I came to notice is that I mean, like this is a movie if you want. Like, it is a fun time if you're with people that are like enjoying the movie and like saying things and stuff.
I can't even imagine that, but okay.
I mean, like, I think it's fun enough, right? Like, it's like, when you're pointing out references with your friends of things that you enjoy, right? Like, it's funnier when you're together making those references rather than just like, oh, it's that thing. Like when you're by yourself, I think that just works. The dynamic of that works a little bit differently. But I just think that this movie is very much, we talked about adaptations before, right?
A few,
and I think that the idea of adapting something which the primary focus of it is the gameplay and I guess the beauty of the world, I guess, if you like the certain aspects of those parts of the games, when you translate that, it becomes very void of the substance, because then you have to replace that with something like a story where
there isn't much source material for the story.
Yes, and if you go too free creatively, then that also contradicts or can bring out conflict of this is what the Mario movie should be or whatever. But because I don't know, I thought it was like interesting getting an idea of some history of some of the stuff like at the beginning of the movie. We haven't really broken the spoilers really, but I don't know if you want to start breaking into them. But I guess to summarize, like,
well, okay, this isn't really a movie that can be spoiled because if like when you're watching it, you can pretty much tell what's going to happen 10 minutes before it happens.
Yeah, I think even the trailer, you're kind of like an idea, like you're just like, oh yeah, I watched this movie.
Yeah,
I think the only thing you don't watch is like the beginning, like 15 minutes.
Yeah, when they're still in New York.
Yes.
Yeah.
Spoilers that they're in New York.
They're in New York.
But I mean, I think overall, like, it's, you can have fun with it. I don't think this is particularly good though. I think it's, if you're, tell you what, if you're like a 3D animator or like a CG person, then there's going to be a lot of stuff that you can look at. Oh, they did that really well. Probably, yeah.
I mean, I'm not one of those. But.
Yeah, I thought it looked really good.
With one exception, one major exception for me, I think that the way they animated Princess Peach was a bit strange. I don't know. There's something going on with the face that just does not seem right.
Uncanny Valley, maybe?
Not really Uncanny Valley, but she seems a bit too cartoony, I guess, to me.
Okay.
I mean, that's not to say that she's like completely out of place from the rest of the style of the film, but.
Yeah, because
maybe it's because I just know the game so well that seeing Princess Peach have any facial expression is strange.
Well, I think like that same style for Bowser works really well, though. Like when he had
I thought Bowser looked great. Yeah.
Also, I think Jack Black was good. He did some fun stuff in this. I mean, I don't know how you feel about voice actors and stuff. But.
The voices. The voices. The voice actor, they won't stop, Chris. The voices, they won't. They just keep saying, "It's a me, it's a me."
Yeah, let's go.
So the voice actors, I don't have a problem with. Mm-hmm. I have a problem with the voice direction because I would have much preferred it if they actually kept going with the
very first minute.
Yeah,
I agree. Yeah. I was so disappointed because I was like, "Oh, this is kind of fun."
Yeah, it's like this kind of wacky and wild. This is kind of neat. And then they just completely abandon it like 30 seconds later, and they just go to generic voices, just generic people. It's like they're human beings. It's like, come on, guys, this is the Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah,
we've already had the real life. Like Mario in real life with the John Leguizamo, is that his name?
Sure. I don't know. Don't watch that movie either.
No. The TV show.
Oh.
With the professional wrestler.
Oh, I have no idea then.
Okay.
Well, this movie, it's not on our high list of recommends.
No, it is not the worst thing I've seen.
Yeah.
But I'm a bit more pissed off about it because I paid $12 for a movie ticket to see this in theaters.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I could have gone and saw like the Dungeons and Dragons movie, which is supposed to be actually pretty good. John Wick 4 is supposed to be really good.
John Wick 4 is very good. Watch John Wick 4.
Watch John Wick 4. I've heard it's really good.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I just think this movie, like, I'm not a huge Mario fan, so it's not like I was disappointed.
I'm more of a Zelda fan myself.
But I just think that I don't know, it looks good, and I think it's just, I think the reason why I don't dislike it necessarily as much as you do is because I think the idea of an adaptation, I have very
you don't have much
pessimistic.
Experience. Oh, pessimistic.
Yeah, because stuff that people adapt. A lot of times I just don't think that people adapt things well. I just think they don't take the medium and the source material truly to heart. They're just like, oh, what can we do to make this in front of more people so that we get more money? And I get it, and I think that I just was like, oh yeah, this is that, and I'm like, I wasn't disappointed or impressed. I was just like, yep, and I had fun with some of the moments, which I was like, yeah, this is those things. Yeah, maybe that's why my experience, I don't think it was nearly as bad as how you're feeling.
Yeah, especially for film adaptations of video games. Already when it's story emphasis video games, it's already pretty hard to translate that into a film because it's
You can't get as much detail.
You can't get into as much detail because games, you can just like cram as much content in there as you want, and
it goes at the player's pace. Player's pace.
And the players will like it because it's at their pace. But in a film, you got to condense it all down to 2 hours, and then like a solid half, if not more, of the appeal of the video game is gone because you're no longer playing a movie.
Yeah.
You're watching a movie.
I mean, some people like that though. They just don't like to, experience things themselves. They like to use a medium to do that. We have a friend that doesn't like video games as much. They like movies.
Yes, I'm sure a lot of people out there don't like video games all that much.
Yeah.
I do not blame you, even if it is your fault.
Even if you're wrong.
But here's the thing, right? Super Mario as a franchise does not make a whole lot of sense to adapt to a film because the whole point of the games is not the story.
Yeah.
I mean, we've already gone over this a little bit, but it is the defining platformer of the entire medium, basically.
Yeah, that is fair. Which I think that when they showed moments like that in the movie, I was like, oh, that's kind of neat.
Yeah, they had some
action pieces I thought were pretty good.
Yeah, okay, I don't like that it was in the movie, but the whole Mario training arc where they were over the lake, some of that like choreography and like set design was actually kind of cool. It was kind of, the whole context behind it is just completely hollow and contrived. It's like, okay, you just met this guy and you're already bringing him to...
We don't have to talk about... Okay, we'll get into spoilers.
I thought we were already on spoilers, Chris.
I don't know if we didn't say anything because none of the... We don't know because this...
Are we spoiling it?
Because this movie it's hard to spoil because it's like...
Oh, okay, final unspoiler thoughts.
Yeah.
I went into this movie expecting it to be bad, and then I saw him and it was bad. I'm like, you know what? Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, it's an adaptation. I think that if you enjoy picking apart like references, then you'll enjoy this because there are a lot of
Yeah, go into the movie theater with a small notebook and a golf pencil, and you'll have a good time.
I think it's enjoyable if you're like, I hate this. I hate what I'm about to say, but if you just go into the movie and turn your brain off, it's a fun time. I don't like that, but it is. And I think that works for people that like would really enjoy the movie, or people that don't know anything about it. I think that will help, or for kids that want it. And I think that those are all valid in terms of a movie, but it's not just something that I think when it comes to entertainment. So like for me, I didn't really think this was anything crazy.
So the whole turn your brain off argument is a subject that we will be here for literal weeks for, so I'm just going to try my best to ignore it and move on.
That's why I said I don't like what I'm about to say, but that's how it can work if you want to enjoy
I am refusing to say anything about that statement. For the sake of both of us, I refuse.
You go, Tangent. I can cut it out if you want.
No.
Okay, anyway. Yeah, it's fine. I don't think it was necessarily like great or good, but it can be a time if you're with people. I mean, you watch it on your own, right?
Yeah, I watched it on my own.
I can only imagine the experience of just going in, just watching it by yourself, and just be like, I watched that.
I mean, it's not like I was seething in my seat.
No.
It was just kind of like the movie was happening. I'm like, I wonder when the movie starts. I've been watching trailers for the past half hour.
Yeah. Okay, well, I guess that's our thoughts. I know a long-winded tangent stuff, but all right. Real quick, I want to check something. So before we go into spoilers.
Oh yeah, you forgot to set the timer.
Fucking don't tell them that I forgot.
Oh, I mean, just censor that.
We're back. Didn't talk a little bit before this at all. But yeah, going on to spoilers, more like appropriate spoilers, because we kind of went into a few things already that could or could not be spoilerish. So now into true spoilers. Bowser's a simp. That's cool. I don't know. What do you want to talk about, Adam?
I mean, we could just take it like chronologically, I guess. The Super Mario Brothers are in the Bronx and they want to save the Bronx.
We could talk about what you brought up a little bit more about the voices, the voice acting.
Oh that was the thing that like actually pissed me off.
Yeah,
the only thing that made me actively like, God damn it.
Because Chris Pratt and Charlie Day start off the movie. Well, it's Mario and Luigi, but like they're them voice acting.
I know who these people are.
Charlie Day from Always Sunny and Chris Pratt from Guardians of the Galaxy.
I've seen Guardians of the Galaxy.
Okay, well,
which one's Chris Pratt?
The main guy.
Star-Lord.
Star-Lord.
Okay. He's also in Parks and Rec.
He is in Parks and Rec.
He's also in Jurassic World.
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
Oh, look at you.
I don't know him. I know what he looks like.
You're growing as a movie enjoyer and taker.
As a film goer, I now have a refined palate and can recognize actors by their faces.
But yeah, it starts off with the Mario and Luigi or Super Mario Bros. Advertisement.
Well, isn't there like a no, it doesn't. It doesn't start with that. It starts with the Koopa Kingdom invading the Ice Kingdom with the penguins.
Oh, right. And then it cuts to it. Yeah. I mean, but like that whole scene, the whole sequence was shown in the trailer.
It was?
Yes.
Oh.
And I was like,
okay, advantage for me, I did not bother watching the trailers.
I watched the trailers. The whole intro scene was the trailer. It was part of the trailer. And I was like, okay, like there's like maybe a scene or two cut out, which wasn't that long, but I was like, come on.
Yeah, and that whole opening sequence with the Bowser just completely stomping the Ice Kingdom by himself. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna come back to that because because that scene exists, it makes the rest of the movie not make sense.
Okay, you sure you want to talk about it now?
Okay, sure, I'll talk about it now.
Talk about it now.
Okay, so the whole point of Bowser invading the Ice Kingdom was to get the Power Star, right?
Yes, the Power Star.
And with the Power Star, he can become invincible or more powerful or whatever, turn into Giga Bowser, which I thought was where they were going, and it would have been pretty cool to look at, but they never actually did that, so it's like kind of lame, but whatever.
Sure.
The whole point was to get the Power Star to make him more powerful. But if Bowser by himself can just destroy an entire kingdom without his army actually doing anything, why does he even need the Power Star? Why does he even need the army? Why can't he just go into the Mushroom Kingdom and set everything on fire? Why can't he just do the same thing with the Kong Kingdom and just set the apes on fire? I
feel like the Kong Kingdom is the only nation that could cause him problems and actually be a threat. And I think that the Star is like obviously all this is okay. For the movie, he's doing all this so he can impress Princess Peach so he can marry her, her.
Yeah.
And he just wants to make sure that I'm invincible with the star. That impresses women, right? That's it. It's more of a show of I have this cool fancy thing that people like and I think is powerful.
Well, I see where you're coming from on this, but the way that it's framed for half the film is that he wants the Power Star so that he has the ability to crush the Mushroom Kingdom, so that he can use that as a nuclear deterrent to convince Peach to marry him. Mm-hmm. And then if it fails, he uses it.
Yeah.
But if he can just set things on fire and destroy the castle, why doesn't he just threaten to do that? Why do you need to go get the Power Star?
I guess
I understand that we need a MacGuffin or whatever.
Yeah. But I just the idea of a contingency plan. My problem was that he just never used it.
He never used it.
Which that I think was a bigger deal because they just it's very much a. He caused his own demise because if he didn't have that, then Mario and Luigi wouldn't have gotten it and beat him up with it because he was winning the fights.
Yeah, the script needs Mario and Luigi to have a way to beat Bowser in the end, and it ended up being the Power Star.
No. Which I thought it would be cooler to use the giant mushroom.
Or actually that would have been better because they referenced it a whole lot in the first half of the film. But what would have been even better if Mario and Luigi use their power of brotherly friendship or whatever to
brotherly
acquaintanceship.
Yeah, you're right.
To be more competent in their fighting abilities and figure out a way to either outsmart, outwit, or outmaneuver Bowser and defeat him that way. That would have been cool, but it would have also required I don't want to make people. I don't want people to think that I'm just bashing this movie nonstop, but I am. A smarter script.
Well, I think you're actually really right on this point, because in the games, like, there are different ways that you have to, like, face Bowser and
okay, real quick.
Okay, sure.
What Mario games have you played? Because I don't actually know.
I think technically the only ones I've fully played through are like the Mario Galaxies.
Okay.
But I've seen gameplay of like the what's the one that you go into paintings and then you like spin Bowser
64.
around? 64.
Yeah.
I've seen 64. Played a decent amount.
Good one for speedruns, that one.
Yeah, that's why I've seen speedruns of it. But I played one of them on the Wii that I can't remember what it's called. I don't know.
I mean, the Galaxy or the Galaxy ones are the main ones on the Wii.
Yeah, but there's other ones. There's a couple other ones, I think.
There's Super Mario Strikers. There's Mario Golf, Mario Tennis.
I have played Mario Golf.
You sure it wasn't the Wii U?
No, I have never had the Wii U.
Okay.
I think on the DS.
The DS
I
had
played Mario Kart DS. But
Mario Kart. There was a new Super Mario Bros.
I think I played that too.
Okay.
But what I was getting at was that there are different ways that you can fight Bowser, like that you have to play the game to do, right? And it's not like it doesn't just boil down to, I just get the star and just like hit him. So I was like, why didn't there are ways that they could have adapted that, right? Like
even in Mario Galaxy, Bowser is this huge guy who's like orbiting the planet that you're on, and you have to like get him to ground pound onto a certain spot in the level to like actually do damage to him, which is infinitely more interesting than just get the star and punch him.
Yeah. Which
now, okay, if this took like an RRR direction, then that would have been more interesting to watch.
Yeah.
But this is an Illumination production
about a Mario movie.
About a Mario movie.
Yeah. So I think that could have been really cool. I didn't even think about that, but as we're talking, I wish that something more interesting in terms of the fight would have happened.
Yeah, or since they have like 3 different scenes where Mario is training to do like the weird parkour that's necessary for movement in the Mushroom Kingdom, they could take like an original Super Mario Bros. Route, like in the original NES titles. Bowser's just standing on the other side of a bridge, and behind him is an axe. And you, Mario, have to get to the axe. You touch it, the bridge collapses, and he falls down into the lava. So what if Bowser's standing at the end with an axe behind him, or a big red button or something, but in front of him is this huge like parkour course? Or even better, there was a huge parkour course.
Okay.
But Luigi, like in DK, flew a rocket into it, and now everything's falling, but he still has to parkour to get to the other side, and he has to parkour over things that are falling, so he jumps on a falling block and he jumps to another falling block.
Yeah, that would have been cool.
Yeah, that would have been cool.
That wasn't in this movie.
Yeah, another big criticism. The entire time I was watching this movie, I was thinking of ways to make it better. The ways that I would have done it to make it more interesting.
Yeah.
Which is not a good sign.
Yeah, I think. Well, that's the thing. Like, this is a podcast. Like, we're the idea is that we're supposed to look into these movies, and when there are some movies that when you watch them, it's one thing to intake that source of entertainment and then experiencing it then, and then now reflecting on it, you're like, oh, other things might work differently or better or worse. Like, because some of those thoughts I didn't have, and now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, oh, well, that's more disappointing.
Yeah, like, again, turn your brain off, watch this movie, and then go home, completely forget about it. That's probably the best way to do it.
Not about that, but it's
like, it's not a painful movie to get through.
It's not.
It's just like, if you're familiar with the source material and with like game design or music or even just like basic film taste, you're like, this could have been so much better.
Well, like, you know what I found funny, because I know you're not on social media really, but
I'm not.
I
swear.
I saw people talk about it, and people went back and forth on the discussion of this movie, where film critics hated this movie.
I'm one of those.
And people were talking about, film critics, they don't always get it right. Sometimes they like things that are completely garbage, and the mass people like it.
Yeah, so we as the audience have to decide whether we side with the critics or with the mass
audience.
glob of the mass audience. Yeah.
And so they talked about those stuff, and so a lot of people were pushing back, and a lot of there are reviewers or people talking about it where they're like, oh yeah, I had a good time, it was really fun. I was like, oh okay, cool. And then when I watched it, I was like, it's kind of like neither of those to me. Like, it wasn't so abhorrent that like it spit on my child's face or something.
This isn't Tom and Jerry Cowboy Up.
This isn't Dragon Ball Evolution. Like, it's not either of those movies. But like at the same time, I'm like, even though I had fun, I was like, like I could have fun at doing it something else. I think that my enjoyment could be easily replaceable with something else that I would have been able to do in an hour and a half. And so I was like, in my opinion, I was just very surprised at the strong emotions on both sides for this movie, where I was like, yeah, I watched it.
Are you well, it's super polarized, so we have to get those like online quizzes and like the debates. Like, are you a critic or are you the audience? Are you a Mario or are you a Luigi?
Yeah. I guess I lean, well, because like I would say I would lean towards more the critic, but at the same time I'm like, I don't hate this movie really. I just don't feel about it. Like, you don't
hate it because you don't care.
Kind of. I mean, like, it's fun when I watched it, but I'm like, I'm not gonna go back on it or think now that I'm like, yeah, I'm having so much fun.
Yeah. Okay, now we're getting to more of the heart of the issue. This film did not leave much of an impact on you, right?
Yeah, it did.
And that's the problem.
I agree. It's very, because like some of the other movies that we reviewed on this channel, like even like Dragon Ball Evolution, like we just reviewed, or Citizen Kane, or Tom and Jerry. Like, honestly, all of those have more of an impact on me. Like for whatever reason, but they did.
Like okay, I know I've explained this to you a few times, but this movie feels pretty like dead, like low middle in the U graph.
Okay.
Do you know what I'm talking about? The U graph? All right, time to explain the U graph.
Okay, sure.
So instead of like a 1 to 10 scale of if movie good, you have a U-shaped graph where on one side, one curve is the enjoyment side where it's 0 through 10, 10 being a transcendent experience, and then 0 being I did not enjoy this movie, I did not dislike this movie. And then going from 0 to 10 on the other side, 0 to negative 10 if you will, we have 0 being I neither cared for nor disliked this film, then negative 10 being I would never wish this upon any abhorrent entity to experience. This is miserable.
Yeah. It's very much like a 0.
Yeah, this is like straight 0. I'm willing to put it at like, okay, when I think about it, I'm like, okay, maybe this is like a -2, maybe a -3, but the visuals are really nice, so it brings it back a little bit. It's like dead zero.
Yeah, I'd say like maybe a 1. Where I was like, I have more of a positive attitude towards it, I guess, but I was just like, it's not anything crazy.
The water when they were in the ocean looked really nice.
Okay, let's talk about some good things.
Good thing. All right, like, only positivity here on the I Don't podcast.
I know the thing is the audience liked it, so this is probably going to be like, I mean, I don't know if anyone's going to watch this, but like, if people do it, they're just like, oh, these terrible takes, which is fine. Like, I'm fine with people disagreeing.
Watch it. 10 years, this is going to be like the only 3D animated film that survives World War III. This is the only this is the only conduit we have for a culture of the before times.
I'll be eating my words. I'll be eating more. I'll be less than that, but okay. So some of the good things, I really the two scenes I thought were really funny were the scene where a Koopa was talking back to Bowser about like, what if she doesn't want to marry you, and he just burns him alive and he becomes dry bones. I like that scene. I was like, that's kind of funny. And then the other scene was when Donkey Kong and Mario were in the eel together, and Donkey Kong's like, oh, I'm a disappointment to my dad, and Mario's like, well, I'm also a disappointment to my father, and Donkey Kong says, well, your father's right. I like that scene. I was like, those are the two, like, I was like, that's funny. Those are funny bits. Do more of that.
I will accept those as decent bits.
Yeah. and so I liked that.
I gave not a chuckle nor a chortle in the theater, but I will accept it.
Okay, that's fine. I'm glad. Now you name a positive.
That water when they were in the ocean, it looked really good.
Okay, visuals very appealing.
Very appealing visuals when they were in New York. Two things, two characters. Old Mr. Jumpman, I think, is a really clever reference to the Mario before Mario. The Mario in the original Donkey Kong was not Mario yet; he was just Jumpman.
Okay.
And so in the film, portraying him as like an old man who's familiar with Mario, that's kind of a clever reference. I like that.
Yeah.
And then Mario and Luigi's old boss being the guy who's in charge of the Wrecking Crew, which is where Mario first showed up on a home console. I think that's also a pretty clever reference.
Oh, see, I didn't know those things. Okay, those references are cool. Those are some positives. That's like, thank you, Adam.
Please don't make me list anymore. I'm struggling already.
Like I said, Bowser, I thought was cool. Like, I think that, like, I liked all his bits pretty much. You know, I like the singing stuff. I thought his things were fun. Like,
I did not like Bowser.
Really?
No, I didn't.
How come?
Okay, so I get that they're trying to do basically Adventure Time, right? You know, you have Princess Bubblegum, who's actually Princess Peach. You have the Ice King, who's actually Bowser, and you have Finn, who's actually Mario. You have this you have the World of Ooh, which is actually the Mushroom Kingdom. You know,
I do see like the parallels. I
mean, it's clear to me since I'm also in the middle of watching through Adventure Time, but Adventure Time is a lot better than this film, so it's like I could be watching Adventure Time instead of paying $12 and going to see this. You know, I have an HBO subscription, so it doesn't cost me any more than it takes me to just subscribe monthly. I can be naked when watching anything on HBO, like, alone. I don't have to get dressed and go out in public.
Yeah.
I can bring my own food and not get, like, shunned by society.
I mean, people bring their own food in movies all the time, in all fairness.
Well, heathens do.
You're the society shutting. You didn't say why you didn't like Bowser.
Oh, right, Bowser. So I get what they're going for, right? They're basically trying to make him like a hopeless simp.
Yes.
Like Ice King, but a little bit less insane.
Yeah.
But every bit that he did, I did not find funny. I just kind of found. Okay, well, let me put it this way. My reaction to it was not, oh, that's kind of clever and haha. It was more, especially the the solo / duet when he's at the piano.
Really?
Yes, I thought that was
that I know for sure is the hottest take that you've had so far.
Okay, so I get where they're going for. They're trying to play it entirely for laughs because the guy, whoever the voice actor,
Jack Black.
Okay, but he's actually a good singer though.
Uh-huh.
So this bit makes less sense. All right. So the point of the joke, the whole point of the joke is that Bowser is not a very good vocalist. He's not a very good performer. But the way that he was bad in the song that he was singing was not humorous. It was obnoxious.
Okay.
This may be my music degree talking, but
this probably is because I disagree with you.
All right. There's better bad singing out there, Chris.
I also think that there's worse actual singing out there, Adam.
Yes, there is. But this was not nearly as humorous as they meant it to be.
I think it's like more supposed to be fun than humorous, because I know a lot of people that are taking it and actually like just enjoying it, and I think that like I don't necessarily love it as much as other people do, but I don't think that it was like you're saying like bad. I was just like that part of the movie.
I think they should have made it worse. That's what I'm saying. They should have made it worse.
Okay,
so that it would have been funnier.
Okay, I disagree, but okay.
All right, since I'm the hot take here,
Yeah, that's. I mean,
I will not be ripping into you. You're supposed to be ripping into me.
you're bad. And just bad opinion. Ooh, boo.
What would you say that?
I'm speaking for the people. Looking at you.
My
Steve.
lips quivering.
What's that beeping on the screen?
Battery low.
Probably. We don't have that much time left. I mean, I don't think we're going to be talking that much longer necessarily, but... Well, I'll just cancel the start.
So, Chris, I want you to explain something to me.
Sure, what's up?
So, the Mushroom Kingdom,
Yeah.
it consists of, like, two parts, right? There's, like, sort of the fungal jungle area where you have all of the wacky creatures where Mario first, like, slides into through the pipe into the forest. Mm-hmm. And then you have the city where the castle is and all of, like, the people are, all of the Toad people.
Sure.
How does the economy of this society work? Why are there people gathered in this densely populated area? What makes the riches flow? Who pays for the infrastructure? Why do the people have money to pay for taxes? What do they do? We see a single shot of several toads being at the bank, and they have to like jump up and like hit the block and get the coins out. But we don't see anyone like working. We see some food stalls set up, but we don't see any farms. There is no agriculture in this society, so it must all be imports. Where are they importing it from? Is this a trade hub? Like, what other kingdom is supplying their food and all of the resources they need for this place to thrive? This clearly isn't an industrial center.
Yeah.
It's like all residential and transport. So, like, what is this? Why is this a kingdom? Why isn't this just like some like highway junction town? It doesn't make any sense. Listen, go if your world building is not dense enough so that we can actually live in this society in real life, like if you can't be as detailed and in as much scale as Google Earth, then you have not made a film, you've made a disappointment.
No, yeah, he's right. I can't. Oh well.
I mean, I have the same problem with Lord of the Rings, and that's my favorite film of all time.
That one's different because it's trying to do things. like this one. I mean, like, you know, I obviously like you just hand wave things, which I think is fine for some movies. I think
that's what I do for the whole film in my mind, baby. Like, wow, it's gone. Wow. Also, it was a pretty short film. It was like maybe 90 minutes.
I was gonna say one of the things I was gonna bring up was to get to each plot beat. They just blitz through this movie in terms of just Mario shows up, Princess Peach is like, oh, okay, here's a training, let's go together. It's like, huh? Like I thought.
Oh my god, dude! I just realized something. This is supposed to be okay. We've been here for like 40 minutes and we haven't talked about the plot yet.
Sure.
Outside of Bowser.
Do you want to talk about it? Or?
Yeah, let's talk about the plot. Mario and Luigi are unsuccessful plumbers, so they get sucked away into the magical land of the Mario universe,
our world,
the Mario worlds. The many worlds theory is true, and they get sent to the wacky world of Mario
Mushroom
World,
Kingdom and
the Mushroom Kingdom, and the Bowser Kingdom, and the Ice
Luigi's
Kingdom.
Mansion.
Luigi's Mansion did not make an appearance in this film. Unfortunate.
Were you gonna say the plot?
Oh yeah. Fuck. What was the plot of this film? Mario meets Toad, and Toad's like, "Oh yeah, your brother's probably in like the Badlands. He's gonna get killed by Bowser." And Mario's like, "Oh no, what do I do?" Toad's like, "Let's go meet the princess." So they go meet the princess, and the princess is like, "Oh my god, you're human. That's really significant. Let's never bring this up again."
Well, they do it while they're out on their little adventure, right? They're just like, you know, maybe you're from my world, and then they drop it. Which I thought that was kind of like, oh, that could be an interesting like.
Yeah, it could we have this one fish out of water scenario where Mario goes into the wacky world, but what if we take a human from the wacky world and put him in the real world, like a Disney's Enchanted sort of a thing?
Yeah,
that would have been interesting. That would have been a cool direction for the movie to go into. But again, The entire time I'm watching this movie, I'm thinking of ways it would be more interesting. So, all of this doesn't actually mean anything. Peach takes Mario to the course because she's like, I met you 30 seconds ago. You're a human, so I trust you. So yes. I'm gonna train you to go on this mission. And then Mario fails the training, but she brings him on the mission anyways.
Yes.
They go to the Kong Kingdom because they need an army. Which, another thing, if there is such a powerful military just within a day's journey of your borders,
even though it felt like longer because they were traveling 30 different areas that we didn't see on any map or anything.
Yeah, but if you have such a powerful neighbor next to you when your nation has little to no military, how are you not part of their empire? Like if the Kong Kingdom is so has such unfriendly relations with you as they established early on, how have they not conquered you already? They're apes. They don't want non-apes in them. Well, okay, here's the thing, though, right?
They're xenophobic, Adam.
No, they can't. Okay, we don't get much into the political philosophy of the Kong Kingdom, but Cranky Kong does complain at one point because I don't remember what the context is, but she calls Princess Peach a fascist, which means that they are less likely to be xenophobic than a non-fascist would be. Well, welcome to our leftist reading of the Super Mario Brothers movie.
Yeah,
Cranky Kong is a no, not a Democrat. He's a monarch. He is a
he's a Democrat.
He's a feudal socialist against fascism, which means that he's probably not xenophobic.
Okay, he still doesn't want them there. Maybe he just hates mushrooms.
Like Mario.
Which also doesn't get brought up after the course.
Yeah, after he eats the mushrooms, it never gets brought up again. There could have been a thing where he has another dinner with his dad, and he has the mushroom spaghetti, and he's like, "Oh, this is pretty good, Dad." And he's like, "What are you talking about? You hate mushrooms." And he's like, "I don't know. Maybe I've just grown up. Ha 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 ha."
Maybe I've just grown into it.
Maybe I've just grown a bit taller and stronger and more handsome and a better person. And then his dad's like, "Whoa, you're really getting into this explanation here." He's like, and then Mario starts yelling at his dad, "Why won't you accept me, Dad? I saved Brooklyn." Okay,
you didn't finish the plot of this movie.
Oh, you see, I keep thinking of ways to make this movie better, but it doesn't matter because it doesn't happen in the movie. Peach is a fascist. Cranky Kong is the true hero. Oh yeah, so the Cranky Kong's like, "Oh no, I can't give you my army unless you beat the shit out of my son."
Yeah.
And Mario's like, "I'll do it." And then Mario fights Donkey Kong, and then Donkey Kong's like, "Haha, look at this fucking loser, I'm gonna kill him." And then Donkey Kong beats the shit out of him, but then Mario gets the cat upgrade, and he's like, "Haha, you fool, did you not watch Puss in Boots? The cats are the greatest warriors in the land." And so Mario beats the shit out of Donkey Kong.
Yes.
And so Cranky Kong's like, "Oh no, my son, you killed my son. That means you get my army now. All right, I guess we're invading the Koopa Land." And so they get they have a bike up sequence where they make their go-karts.
Yes.
And they get on the Rainbow Road.
But
they're ambushed by the Koopa army, and they all get captured.
Yep.
There are explosions, high-speed vehicle chases, crashes at high speeds. They are several hundred feet in the air, presumably, just based on the visuals.
Yes.
No one dies, everyone's captured. There are no casualties in war.
Yes. Well,
it's all a fun time.
Well, they said they were going to sacrifice them.
Well, yes, but,
Well, the elves did.
It's a kid's movie. You can't have people dying on screen, Chris. That would make the kids feel bad.
That's just...
Well, actually, no, we don't care about what the kids think. We care about the parents getting angry that their children might be exposed to something relatively violent.
Yeah.
So, we can't have that. We have to have, the kids don't have money. We have to convince their parents to get them to buy the tickets to get into the theater.
You're very true. You're very honest right now. Okay, so they get captured.
They get captured.
They meet one of the princess, what's her name?
Peach?
No, the little star character.
Oh,
what are those called?
I think they're called Staryus, but those also...
That's a Pokemon.
That's a Pokemon. All right, I was thinking it was from something else. Ah, fuck. What are the star people called in Galaxy?
We're going to cut all this
Oh,
out.
wait, no, this is a good moment for a ding. Oh, look, Vivim fucks up. Oh,
it's been a while.
Yeah, what's the count out like now? 506?
It's like 20.
20. Oh.
506. That'd be 19. I think I fucked up counting one of the parts.
Okay, so the entire time during the movie, I'm thinking of ways for it to be better, right?
Sure.
And then when they're in the dungeon sequence where they're hanging over the lava, they tease me with this implication that Rosalina and the star people are out there like in space and shit. I'm like, wow, that would have been really cool to actually see more of in the film. And then they don't.
Yeah. I do think that the one thing I came away from this movie was like, I just want to see Rosalina. like I want to see a Mario Galaxy movie, but just like actually good.
Yeah.
That's what I took away from this movie, because I'm like, it looks great, and I'm a Mario Galaxy guy, so. And
I like Mario Galaxy.
Yeah.
I think the best 3D Mario is Sunshine, but you know, I'm in the minority on that one.
And people like Odyssey, right?
Well, people like all of them more than Sunshine, even though people still like Sunshine. Everyone's like, oh, Super Mario 64 is the greatest video game of all time. And then people are like, but Mario Galaxy is the greatest Mario of all time. And they're like, yeah, but did you play Odyssey, though? That's the greatest Mario of all time.
Yeah. No, it's a Sunshine.
And Sunshine's just like, people are just like, oh yeah, I like the bonus levels where you don't have the jetpack.
Anyway,
I like the jetpack.
The wedding happens because Bowser's like, I'm gonna fucking kill Toad if you don't come with me. And then she's like, okay.
Okay, fine, I'll marry you.
Which was kind of quick, but yeah. And then I do like...
Also, another thing. This is a war, and your monarch is not willing to put themselves in a position where a single subject is sacrificed or comes into any harm, which, you know, I mean, morally upstanding, I guess, but also...
She was forced on the position. She wasn't like...
Yeah, whatever. It's a kid movie. War isn't real. Death isn't real. Consequences are not real.
I'll say another positive. I like the action sequence of Peach fighting everyone at the wedding. I enjoyed that.
Oh, you know what? There were a couple things in there that I thought were kind of neat, like how
she killed Bomb.
The big Bob-omb. I like that she killed him.
That's death. He exploded.
We did it. We had a death in the Mario movie, dude. Let's go. Traumatize these kids. Let them suffer.
Let them suffer.
But yeah, you know what? Yeah, there was some pretty inventive, like, conceptual choreography with that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
She froze things. She blew things up.
Yeah.
She did like, woohoo. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
After that...
I wish I actually cared about it.
I mean, Mario and DK also, like, after they fell off the Mario Kart Rainbow Road, they were in the ocean, they got eaten by Neil, and then they
had a heart-to-heart where they're like, oh my god, I hate you. Yeah,
it's like, yeah, I do hate you.
Fuck you.
Which I thought that whole bit, I was like, just the whole scenes of them in the water, I was like, why are we here? Like, I know that, like, for you, the whole movie was like that, but I was like, this feels more...
No, for me, it was, why am I here in the theater right now?
Yeah.
Pinocchio did that better. The whole
did.
inside a fish.
Yeah. Well, we're talking about the Guillermo del Toro one.
Oh,
specifically. But yeah, I agree. I just didn't. I was just like, why did they have to be separated for this long? I mean, I guess because they didn't have to be captured so that they could come back.
We have to have the scene where they reconcile.
Did they do that?
Yes.
Okay, well, anyway, the stuff is happening. Bullet Bill's about to kill... Bowser says Bullet Bill to kill the...
Bowser launches an ICBM at the Mushroom Kingdom.
And then Mario just slaps his eye or some shit, and then he just gets chased by
it.
it.
Fuck. Instead of going into the city that was just evacuated, I'm sending it into one of the most densely populated areas on the planet.
I was wondering that, too. I was like, why are you sending it to New York? And then it just explodes inside.
I guess Mario just hates the Bronx. And it really likes the Mushroom Kingdom.
What I did like, though, was after that, when everything started getting like sucked into the pipe, and then they started appearing in New York. I kind of like that because I was like, oh, we're actually coming back and like addressing like there's a portal here.
Yeah, we're kind of making like a full circle. Like, oh, we started here, we moved to a place, then we came back.
Yeah, and you bring that place with you, right?
Yeah, bring the place with you.
Which that I kind of liked. And then Bowser starts fucking everyone up, and then Mario hides because he's scared. Then he sees the commercial, and he's like, "Oh, this was our commercial or ad." And then him and Luigi.
Yeah, all the police were killed in the explosion, so Mario and Luigi have to do everything themselves.
Absolutely correct. Yes. And yeah, then they win, and then Mario and Luigi live in Mushroom Kingdom.
Live in peace and harmony, doing plumbing work for the.
Also, Bowser gets put in a mason jar.
Oh yeah.
Don't look up mason jar stuff.
Look up mason jar stuff. You won't regret it.
You will very much regret it. Unless you like that stuff, then you know.
I have a lot of mason jars at home.
I've seen them, and they're filled. Bless you. All right, well, we talked about the plot of the movie.
Okay, so I don't get canceled. They're filled with like plants and shit, and like cereal grains and stuff.
Terrariums, stuff that are really cute.
Yeah, and like pantry stuff, like spaghetti and quinoa.
Yeah, not like mine, which is filled with semen.
So how many do you have now? Is this like the fifth one? Are you on the fifth one now?
Fifth one that you know about.
Okay.
This is a bad bit. We gotta stop. Anyway, the Mario movie. Do we have anything else to say?
The music.
I was gonna bring that up.
So, the soundtrack, I think it could have been really good because the Mario franchise has one of the richest musical histories of any video game franchise, but instead they just made a sort of like a generic.
They did remixes of the famous songs.
Well, I'll get to that.
Okay.
Just give me a second here. I'm trying to like set the scene here. You're just trampling all over my explanation here. You're really dragging out the length of this podcast.
Can we just hurry up to move on to like something else?
Okay, the soundtrack wasn't that good. It could have been a lot better. What else?
I just said about the fucking remixes. We're just like bringing back the famous songs.
Okay, it's a generic like semi-actiony kids movie soundtrack with occasional references to motifs from the games, and then the remixes. I mean, they had the DK rap in there.
They did. They didn't acknowledge the actual creator of the DK rap in the movie, so that sucked.
Oh, he wasn't credited?
I don't think so.
Oh, fucking
Illumination.
God damn it. Whatever.
Yeah. Watch the movie if you want. This is
just don't expect it to be good.
Yeah, I mean, like
expect to go in and it's like, oh hey,
I think like
that's Jumpman. I get that reference.
Yeah, I think you can have a fun time, and that's about it. And that's not a guarantee.
I did not have a fun time. For example, I did not.
Yeah, I did.
But I'm also a miserable sack of shit who is too critical of a mindset and everything. So maybe you'll enjoy it.
Shut the fuck up. I don't enjoy anything. Let's talk about other things.
Yeah, let's talk about this film I really enjoy, actually. Next week, okay. We don't podcast.
We haven't done a trailer for our next episode.
We got to do a trailer now. We watched The Green Knight.
All right. Well, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, hit the bell.
Let us know if you think the podcast is better than the Mario movie. If not, let us know too. It isn't. You'll be wrong if you think it is.
Yeah. Thanks for watching. Well, bye.
I don't like to point fingers, but that hand looks loaded.